This week, I'm going to move to the middle here. This week began with a big celestial event, the North American 2024 solar eclipse, which some of us traveled to see in totality. And witnessing the eclipse got me thinking about probably the same thing that you're thinking about: menstruation. What? Let me step back a moment. These next 2 weeks, we are reading a difficult set of Torah portions, Tazria and Metzora. In them, we learn about what renders a person pure, tahor, or impure, tameh. Months ago, when our bat mitzvah, Shana, first met with the rabbi and me to introduce her Torah portion, I dared her to begin her Devar Torah with something like this. This morning we are going to talk about menstruation. And she adamantly declined the suggestion. And of course, I was only joking, but she agreed that I could start my Devar Torah tonight with those words. So thank you, Shana. So our Torah portion this week begins with the laws regarding childbirth and menstruation. That's like the fourth time I've said it, which, as you know, is every bar and bat mitzvah's dream topic. The exact words are as follows. Speak to the Israelite people thus. When a woman at childbirth bears a male, she shall be impure 7 days. She shall be impure as at the time of her condition of menstrual separation. So tonight, I'm going to talk about the ancient ritual of nidah, also known as the laws of family purity. These laws are central to Judaism. There is an entire tractate of Talmud dedicated just to this subject. And Jewish law states that a mikveh is so essential to a community that Jews can actually sell their synagogue building in order to raise funds to build a mikveh. Because actually, without a mikveh, these people, the Jewish people of old, thought without a mikveh, then the Jewish people itself will cease to exist, which is more later. A mikveh can be any living body of water, from a pond to a lake to a river or an ocean or stream. The water in a built mikveh needs to arrive in the bore, which is the pit that holds the water, by itself. So it can be a collection of rainwater or even melted ice, which is what we used to use in Arizona. Now, I am fully aware that the laws of family purity and the use of the mikveh is foreign, even abhorrent to many Reformed Jews. After all, we do not categorize our bodily functions as dirty or impure. We believe that we are holy beings all the time, men and women alike. But for this evening, I would like to ask you to suspend that belief and allow me to teach you a bit about the beauty and meaning of these rituals. For after all, as Reformed Jews, we are called to learn about our traditions and then to make autonomous choices about which rituals might bring meaning to our lives. And I would like to suggest that the distinction between pure and impure is not how you might imagine it. It is more about recognizing a time of transition, going from one state of being to another. The word mikvah in Hebrew, mem, kuf, vav, he, literally translated as collection or gathering, is a pool or bath of clear water in which immersion renders ritually clean, tahara, a person who has become ritually unclean, tuma. The same root for mikvah is used for the word tikvah, which some of you know means hope. Yes, it's the same root word. So the use of these gathered waters during times of status change is connected to the concept of hope. The mikveh is a place of hope, safety, and solitude. A brief story. I had just accepted a job at Congregation Beth Israel in Scottsdale, Arizona, when the rabbi told me that they were finishing construction of a community mikveh, and that as part of my cantorial duties, I would be the mikveh lady. That began my crash course in becoming an expert on all things mikveh related. You could call me a mikveh maven, so to speak. I had been to the mikveh myself before my wedding, and I had taken many people to the mikveh as part of conversion or in preparation for their weddings. But being the mikveh lady, or as we like to now call ourselves, mikveh guides, was completely new to me. And it turned out to be a wonderful learning experience that led me to develop a deep love of this tradition. Since our mikveh was meant to be used by the entire Jewish community, I had the opportunity to learn from observant women who use the mikveh monthly. One woman taught me to have a bowl of candy in the waiting room and the very best spa products in the preparation room. And this, she said, was to sweeten the experience. Another taught me not to say, "See you next month," to a woman using the mikveh because perhaps, or maybe even hopefully, if they were trying to conceive, they would not be coming the following month. So there, you learned some things. Another woman taught me to hold the towel, after, like I would help her off with her towel and then hold it up, like right in front of my face as a way of guarding her modesty. So waiting until she was already inside the pool before I checked. At its core, the mikveh is used as a place to mark holy transitions. One enters the water of the mikveh with one status and emerges with another. It is much less about purity and impurity as it is about noticing status changes and sanctifying them. And although there are only 3 commanded reasons to use the mikveh, Jews have been using the mikveh to mark all kinds of transitional times since the time of the Mishnah. Some people go weekly before Shabbat. Others like to take a yearly dip before the Jewish New Year, like Rabbi John leads in the ocean. It's a very cold mikveh, but a kosher one. I've brought people to the mikveh who are marking a divorce, or who have finished a course of medical treatment like chemotherapy and come to the mikveh to mark their return to health. Some like to go on their birthday, and others for their b'nai mitzvah. The 3 commanded times to use the mikveh that I referred to a moment ago are, let's see if anybody knows. What's the first you could think of? Conversion, right? So for conversion. The second one, for childbirth. So some people like to go after, that's not a commanded reason, that is a reason to go. When I say commanded, I guess I mean that you say the actual blessing because it's commanded to do. So the second one I'm going to say is before a wedding, before you get married, because imagine the change of status. And the third, the third is for menstruation, for observant married Jewish women to use at the conclusion of their menstrual periods. Exactly. This beautiful reading written by Rabbi Noah Kushner of the Kitchen is read aloud by a person before entering the waters for conversion. I just love this. You'd say, this is what you would say if it were you. You'd say, "It is between me and the water now. The water is my medium. With it, I inscribe my name, invisible and permanent. The house of Israel becomes my home. Another step of being a path traced with new eyes. I open myself in the water, immerse myself whole, and I emerge complicated and honest as ever, a Jew. Blessed is the Holy One to whom I entrust the transformation of my soul. Blessed is the Holy One who chooses me for the people Israel. Blessed am I who chooses the people Israel through the water." For a couple who observes the laws of family purity, the mikveh is indeed a place of hope. During this immersion, a woman is held by the water like she was once held in the womb. She has a chance to acknowledge the failed attempt at creating new life, and at the same time acknowledges the renewed potential for life. They bring awareness to the great miracle of creation and possibilities. When immersed in the water before taking the big step of binding your life to another person in marriage, you have a moment alone, just you and the water, underneath, to reflect on the person you were, the person you will become, and the person that you always will be. Take a moment to imagine how mikvah might bring meaning to your life. And anytime you wish, I will gladly accompany you to the mikvah, either at the beach or at Los Gatos JCC, to mark an important change in your life, and I promise to bring along some candy. I wish you all Shabbat Shalom.